What's up, Facebook? How's everybody doing today? We're having a fantastic day in the Elevation Church offices. It's been a day full of strategy and productivity and just an overall good time. We've been talking a lot about how to continue to engage different audiences with our message. So important for us. How to make the church stronger in areas of content. But then, there's content creation and then content delivery. And both are super important. So we've been meeting about that. And we just got done with some meetings. And I wanted to take a moment and share with you some things that I have been learning. And I'm going to kind of walk and talk here. Here's a pulpit that I keep in my office, by the way. You should see this. I'm a horrible cameraman. I'm the worst. But I used to sometimes preach at it during the week, just to preach to myself when I was working on my sermons. I haven't done that in years, but pulpit is still there. But I want to put two words up here on the board, and hopefully you can see. I probably should have thought this through and had somebody come hold my camera for me on my phone here so you could see better. But I have a whiteboard wall in my office, by the way. Look at that. That's the Elevation Church 2015 Sermon Series in Review, Year in Review, Statistical Analysis. We gave that poster to the whole church. So that's pretty cool. Here's a postcard my friend Buzz Williams just sent me with a line from a sermon that he used with his basketball team at Virginia Tech. Win a battle, take a bite. Looks like they're putting that into practice. There's a picture that Abby drew me in my office. A little message that I am probably never allowed to erase, nor would I want to. But I want to put some words up here on the board. Oh, this is a wall that I have in my office that features a plethora of quotes from one of my favorite books on creativity called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And I read that book quite a few times. It's very helpful for procrastinators. So here's the words that I wanted to share with you, okay? This is something different that I was putting. Leadership is about crafting and coaching. If you're always crafting, especially in the job that I have and the way that I approach it, and never coaching others, then you're the only one creating. But sometimes you have to craft and you can't coach everybody, for instance, to write your sermon for you, so you have to find that balance. Here's the words I wanted to write up for today. I want to write the word label. Let's see, this is going to look really strange on the, there you go. Can you see that? Is it backwards? You probably don't need the drawing, but I'm going to do it anyway. Label and limit. Got it? Okay. All right. So that's our two words, label and limit. And I want you to think about all of the different ways in which labels limit our knowledge, our understanding, our growth, our enjoyment. For example, somebody told me a year or two ago that Snapchat was only a social media platform for people sending naked pictures to each other, teenagers and stuff. And while there may be an element of truth to that, that's certainly not the only usage of the platform of Snapchat. So because I had labeled Snapchat in my mind that way, I had placed limits on its value as an application in my life, but I just recently joined Snapchat because I found out I could communicate to people. How often will I do it? Am I any good at it? I don't know. But labels can limit. Sometimes we do this racially. We get a certain preconception about somebody in our mind. In ministry, a white pastor might think, well, this is what black people want in a church. Or a black pastor might think, well, white people wouldn't want to come to my church. But because you have labeled their desires and labeled their preferences and labeled their philosophies, sometimes out of ignorance, you're going to limit who you can reach because labels always limit. We often label people before we get to know them. We can label somebody's belief system and say, oh man, that guy, he's kind of weird. He teaches weird stuff. That guy's a heretic. That guy doesn't really preach the gospel. That guy, she's a prosperity preacher. Oh, that church is all, you see this in ministry all the time. But we limit our ability to receive from people because we label them according to our knowledge of them, which is so incomplete. And this can happen in your life as well. You know, somebody can slap a label on you early in your life and place a limitation on your discovery of your own potential. Somebody can tell you that you're not very good at, or you don't have the aptitude. And sometimes that's true. I'm not saying that all labels are wrong. Like you want to put a label on a bottle of Drano so you don't think it's apple juice, right? So a label can be helpful in some regards. It's not always bad. But in church, we're so bad about labeling. And every time we label, we limit. So we miss out on so much of what God might want to do in our lives or in the lives of others, because labels are limits. I want to know what you think about this. Give me some comments here and maybe ask some questions. I got about 2 or 3 more minutes I want to spend here on Facebook Live, and this has just been in my mind today, that labels create limits. And I'm sorry, Kay Bell, that you have motion sickness with the movement, but I'm hyped up. I've got to move around when I talk. So maybe you could put the screen down and just listen, if that helps. But, okay, Monica, I'll stop walking. Okay. Sorry, guys, sorry. I didn't know my movement was going to be such a hindrance. All right. Hey, South Africa. Do you guys have any questions or comments? Want to know what you think about this, because it is my, I'm going to sit down so I'm not tempted to walk. So you guys don't like me walking around. All right, is that better? Okay. What can you do? This is from Lovely. Is your name Lovely? That's a great name. Talk about a great label. Lovely. What do you do to remove labels from your life? I think you challenge your capacity. So if there's been something that you've been labeled as, sometimes that's a result of your behavior. You can't blame others always for labeling you, especially if they're labeling you according to the actions. You have to demonstrate a new pattern of behavior. So if people in your job see you as someone who's hard to get along with, maybe they've labeled you according to what you've shown them about yourself, the exposure that they've had to you. So if you create new routines, new patterns, you create a new reputation. People will see you in a different light when you walk and act in a different way and establish new habits. Let's see. We often label even ourselves. Absolutely. Here's the thing about the labels others put on us, okay? They don't even know the depth of our weakness. I think if we really want to talk about labels and limitations, yes, we need to look within ourselves, because there are dozens of things that you didn't do this year already that you could have done, that you convinced yourself that you couldn't do. I think that at the heart of this sometimes is a desire for self-awareness, which is a good thing. I do know that I probably shouldn't quit my preaching career to go and make a difference as a Christian in the NBA. So I don't think necessarily the idea of no limits is biblical, because God has given us all gifts. The Bible talks about a measure of faith, and that each of us ought to be content within our own sphere of service. So this speaks to a measure of capacity that is given by God. I just think it's a good idea to challenge your capacity from time to time, and to realize that sometimes we think we don't have a large capacity. There's only 2 ways, and I may preach on this in the series that I'm teaching right now in church called Functional Faith. I'm teaching about this. I just started this weekend. I really enjoyed it. If you want to check it out on podcast, the sermon is also on YouTube and at elevationchurch.org and on the app, so it's all there for free. I'm continuing in it, and I was thinking about 2 ways to increase capacity. One is to enlarge. So this is a nice artistic wooden container for my elevation pins. If I want to increase the capacity, then I can either enlarge the container, or I can eliminate what's in them, which created more capacity. So sometimes in your life, when you have a limitation that's a result of a label, what you can't do, what you can't be, what you can't handle, the time you don't have, the money you don't have, sometimes the answer is to enlarge. There are opportunities to make more, to learn more. You can grow. That's enlarging. Or eliminate, remove something. You say, I don't have time. Maybe you do. Maybe that time is being occupied by something that you're dealing with that is no longer a part of your assignment in this season. So I just wanted to share that with you about labels and limitations. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, I like getting on Facebook Live, so if you enjoyed it and you want more of this, leave a comment, let me know. I'll spend a few minutes maybe answering a few comments after the broadcast here. And just remember today, the only one who should have the right to label you is the one who made you. So make sure you keep that in mind. And when we limit each other by labels because of presuppositions that we've made out of either arrogance or ignorance, we keep ourselves from receiving all that others in life and God have to offer us. God bless you.